Ash's heart is with Korrina now, but Serena's betrayal still haunts him. In Part 2, love is tested and new challenges arise. This is what if Ash fell in love with Korrina and was betrayed by Serena, Part 2. After receiving the news, Ash, Korrina, and his mother took a flight at night to head to the Kalos region. Long before going to buy the tickets, he had a call from a person in charge of guiding Ash and the others to Kalos. This person took them on a private plane, so they went gladly. During the trip, Ash's mother and Pikachu on her legs were asleep. Meanwhile, Ash and Korrina sitting next to each other. They were talking about trivial things, but suddenly Korrina decided to ask something. Ash wanted to ask you something, Korrina said a little nervously while Ash a little confused. Yes, tell me, Korrina, while looking into the blonde's eyes. Ash, are you in love with a girl? While also looking into Ash's eyes. Well, honestly no, I'm not interested in those things, I don't want to go through the same thing again, while he looked away from Korrina and began to remember Serena. And Ash, do you think you can fall in love again? Korrina asked again, hoping he would notice her. Of course not. I'm not going to fall for that again. Stop asking those things, Korrina. They bother me. He said this a little angrily. Korrina became very sad about what Ash had just said, so much so that with a little anger and tears in her eyes, she told him. I understand, Ash, don't worry, I won't bother you anymore, okay? Korrina got up and went to the bathroom without saying anything. Ash just looked at her with a little concern. Meanwhile, Korrina inside the bathroom looking at her reflection in the mirror and with tears in her beautiful eyes. Really? Why, Ash? Why, you were like this with me? I thought you really had feelings for me. I was an idiot to agree to travel with you to Kanto. While she was sobbing, someone was heard outside the bathroom. Korrina. Are you okay? Please answer me, it's me, Ash, he said it behind the door, trying to make her answer his words. I'm not okay, Ash. Calm down. Calm down, Korrina said a little tearful, which Ash could notice at that moment. Korrina opened the door. Please, I'm sorry if I said something wrong, really excuse me. While Ash tried, he knocked on the door softly. Korrina inside the bathroom, with a little hesitation, decided to open it, and the moment she opened it, Ash immediately hugged her, making Korrina blush a little at his action. At that moment Ash spoke up, Korrina, I'm sorry I said those words, if I said something hurtful I hope you forgive me. Korrina just started to cry a little in Ash's chest, who hugged her tighter, to make the blonde feel better. Ash distanced himself slightly but didn't let go of his hug. He fixed his gaze on Korrina, who did the same. Connecting their eyes. I'm sorry, Korrina, excuse me for behaving that way with you, I don't like seeing you cry, as she began to clean her cheeks and caress her, making the blonde blush a lot. Korrina didn't say a word. They were in a somewhat uncomfortable silence, but she let herself be carried away by Ash's actions. She was slowly getting closer to the brunette's face. Ash was also somewhat confused, not knowing what to do at that moment. He also let himself be carried away by the moment, also approaching Korrina's face. The two were very close, their lips were just millimeters away from touching. Ash could perceive Korrina's sweet scent, just as she felt very warm from having Ash close. Their breaths combined simultaneously. Ash was silenced by Korrina's sudden kiss. Ash just looked somewhat surprised by such an action, but decided to reciprocate by hugging her hips. While Korrina felt very good in her mind because of such an action from the black-haired girl, she hugged Ash's neck delicately. After a while they separated, they just looked at each other for such action. Korrina just went to her seat and said absolutely nothing. Ash just watched such action without saying anything and decided to do the same, to go to his seat next to Korrina and rest. Then they closed their eyes to sleep, both with the doubt in their mind, did he like it? The whole night passed. The first to wake up was Korrina. When she opened her eyes she saw that she was lying on Ash's chest, while the dark-haired man hugged her. She blushed at what happened that night with Ash. Since they were so close at the time, she decided to wake the brunette. Ash, wake up, while trying to get out of the hug, although she liked being like that. Honey, let me sleep a few more minutes, while he closed his eyes and then looked at Korrina and became a little nervous about what she said. He also had her in his arms, and because of this action he became more nervous. Korrina just looked at him laughing as she looked at the brunette. She got up from her seat, to go greet Ash's mother and Pikachu. Ash was left wondering what happened with Korrina that night. Why she kissed me, and why I liked it. Before going over to the others, he looked at his mother. Delia had Pikachu between her legs, while the Pokémon was still dreaming about the ketchup. And she told him that the pilot said they were about to arrive in the region, that they should go and take a seat. So Korrina and Ash went to sit and wait for them to arrive at the Kalos region. The two had still not spoken since morning. They were somewhat saddened by what had happened last night. "Ash, I was wondering if you could hug me, since I'm afraid of landing," she said, somewhat embarrassed, causing the dark-haired man to look at her tenderly. "Well, if you don't want to, it's okay." Korrina didn't finish the sentence because Ash hugged her without saying anything. Korrina, a little blushed, also hugged him. Then the plane landed and everyone got off the plane. "Well, here we are again, I hope everything goes well," Ash commented while Pikachu sat on his shoulder. While Korrina and Delia followed behind him, they were talking about something. "Of course," Korrina shouted with great joy. After leaving the airport, during the day, our characters first head to the Prism Tower to meet Clement. Upon arriving, Ash knocked on the door to see if his blonde friend was there. Knock, knock. After giving a few blows, Clement appears showing a smile. "Hello everyone, Ash, I'm glad to see you again. I guess you must be tired from the trip. Don't worry, you can rest here." "Thank you very much, Clement, by the way, and Bon." Clement's little sister appears at that moment and hugs Ash. "Ash. I'm glad you're back. I thought I'd never see you again," the younger blonde said with some joy. "Calm down, Bonnie, I'm back," while showing a smile, then letting go of it. After an hour of rest and this pleasant reunion, Ash was notified that he must go to Professor Sycamore at night to discuss the issue of fraud in the league. The high-ranking officials of the region will be present at that location. Everyone in the main room heard the message at that moment. So they began to think about what to do until that time arrived. "Okay, guys, I'll leave you. I'm going to visit places in this city. Will you join me, Pikachu?" Ash's mother commented. Pikachu without hesitation climbed onto Ash's mother's shoulder. Before leaving, Ash's mother winked at her future daughter-in-law. "You know who I'm talking about, right?" The blonde just blushed a little and nodded, remembering what happened minutes before leaving the airport during the conversation between Korrina and Delia. Korrina narrates. "I was talking to Ash's mother while he was walking a little ahead of us. Until Delia asked me something that made me blush a little. 'Korrina, are you in love with my son?' Those were Delia's words. I was just a little surprised by the question, and I told him. I was definitely in love with Ash," she said with great confidence while looking at Delia. She just smiled at me and then told me she approved of their relationship, should it happen. And that she'd give me a little help getting him on a date. I was very happy with his words, and without realizing it I screamed a bit loudly." End of memory. Clement and Bonnie noticed this action so they decided to go with the flow. "Oh wow, sorry Ash." Clement pretending to look at his poke phone. "Bonnie, we have to go help Dad, he had too much shopping and needs help getting back," the blonde commented while giving his sister a small punch on the arm. "Okay, understood brother," the younger blonde commented very happily. After what the older blonde said, they left, without first telling Ash and Korrina to close the door before leaving. Ash, as always very distracted, just watched the two blondes leave. "Okay Clement, I hope it goes well," a little confused by what happened. Only Ash and Korrina remain in the house. Korrina didn't say a word, she wanted to tell Ash to go out together. There was a somewhat awkward silence between them. "Korrina, do you think we should go out somewhere too? I'm a bit bored here." As she stood in front of the door to leave, looking at the blonde. Korrina blushed as Ash offered her a date, basically a date. Of course, the blonde is very happy. Then they left Clement's house to go out and visit somewhere. The two were walking calmly through a rather large park, with many people crossing and strolling around the area. Although several people were staring at them, for some reason, this made Ash a little uncomfortable. Ash without thinking twice took Korrina's hand, making the blonde blush a lot. "Ash. Why? Did you take my hand?" With some nerves and blushing. "I'm sorry, Korrina. I'm sorry to bother you, but I can feel people looking at us strangely. But if you want me to let go of your hand, there's no pro. Don't worry, I'm fine like this." The girl just showed him a warm smile, making the brunette blush a little. Ash felt a little more estranged by people. But he didn't give it much importance anymore. Ash walked faster and led Korrina to a restaurant so people would stop staring at him like that. "Good afternoon young people, here. Wait a moment, aren't you Ash Ketchum? The true champion of the Kalos League?" The boys were somewhat surprised by what the waiter had just said. He, yes, that same one," with some sadness. Ash at that moment thought that now he understands why people looked at him that way. "It's a pleasure to have you here, come in and have a seat," he said with a pleasant expression on his face. Ash and Korrina took a seat and decided to order something from the menu. Korrina asked for whatever you want, I'll pay accordingly. Are you serious? Okay, Ash, thank you very much. While looking at the menu again. And what should the champion order? The waiter commented politely. I just want a chocolate cake, please, the blonde commented. Well, I want ratatouille. Remember that Kalos is based a lot on the country of France XD. Understood, I'll be back with your orders in a few minutes. As the two enjoyed their meal, they chatted about casual things, until Korrina asked something. Ash, how much money do you have in total? The blonde commented. Well, I only use the cash my mother gives me or sends me. While feeling a little embarrassed. And what about the money you've earned during your travels? He asked again. What do you mean by that? A bit confusing. Ash, every time you win a gym or participate in Pokemon leagues, you get money as a reward for your efforts. Wow. I hadn't realized, and how can I know how much money I have? Looking the blonde in the eyes. Let's see. Lend me your Pokenav, Ash handed it over and Korrina checked it. As she watched, Korrina was very surprised and speechless, just showed Ash her Pokenav where it showed her stored money. Ash was just shocked by the large amount of money he had. I have over 3 million Poke dollars. I didn't expect that, the dark-haired man commented, somewhat surprised. I have to tell my mother this. I hope she doesn't faint from the news. After the conversation at the restaurant, Ash and Korrina decided to continue their date by leaving the restaurant, passing by several shops, visiting several of them. The two hadn't realized they were walking hand in hand again. They were undoubtedly having a great time together, even though people were still watching them. Elsewhere, at the city airport. I finally arrived, although it wasn't hard to find my friend's orders, the boy commented as he left the airport. As he walked, he remembered what was being reported on the news about the fraud in the league. I can't believe that Allan committed such a trap, although I'm very sure that Ash returned to Kalos. I hope to see him again to congratulate him on his victory in the league, and also ask him for a rematch. I'm sure I'll meet him there. Returning to the couple. As they walked, Ash decided to return to the park from before and take a short break with the blonde. Looking around, he noticed that there weren't that many people around, something that relieved the brunette a little because he no longer felt people staring at him. The two then let go of each other's hands and sat on a bench. The silence didn't last long due to Korrina's words of gratitude. Thank you so much, Ash, for asking me out. I had a great time with you. As she stared at Asabache. You're welcome, I still enjoyed spending time with you, you know I'm also glad you decided to come with me. The blonde just showed him a warm smile, which at that moment Ash just stared at her without saying anything. By the way, Korrina. Regarding what happened during the plane at night, I want to apologize, I got carried away, while touching her fingers with some nervousness. Don't apologize, I honestly got carried away, just like you, the blonde commented with a smile, then leaned closer to the dark-haired man's ear. But I admit I really liked it. She said in a tender tone, before turning away from the dark-haired man again. After such a revelation from the raven-haired blonde, he just stood there thinking without saying a word in response. The blonde felt somewhat saddened by the dark-haired man's actions. Until. Excuse me, I'm an idiot for not realizing how you feel about me, Ash said as he took the blonde's hands. I fell in love with someone who wasn't worth it, and I didn't notice the person who was, even though we only saw each other a few times. The blonde decided to speak. Ash, I want you to know something, as she stood up from the bench ready to release everything she wanted to say for a long time. The dark-haired man just looked at the blonde with some confusion. I was watching you from the beginning when you participated in the Kalos Pokemon League, although I wasn't close to you and I didn't get close to you until the league ended, I was only supporting you in another place in the stands, watching you from beginning to end. Korrina stopped speaking for a moment. For one reason only. Serena. The brunette realized what the blonde in front of him was trying to say, but let her continue. I was sure you were in love with Serena. That made me sad, I knew I wouldn't have a chance against her, while some tears flowed from the blonde. The black-haired man immediately stood up and hugged her, Korrina only reciprocated the warm hug. They remained in that position for a few minutes. Korrina, calm down. Don't cry anymore. While looking into her crystalline blue eyes. You are an incredible person, a great coach, and very beautiful. Anyone would want to have you as a girlfriend. Without a doubt, you are better than Serena. But I don't love anyone else but you. I love you, was Korrina's comment, a little blushing. There was again a silence between them that lasted a few minutes. I understand. Then I'll take the next step, is that okay with you, Korrina? What the? Before the blonde spoke, the dark-haired man took Korrina's hands again. Korrina, will you accept to be my girlfriend? I'm sorry to be a bit hasty. He didn't finish his sentence due to the blonde's quick action. She planted a kiss on him that surprised Tay Brunette, but a second later he reciprocated the kiss. After separating, the blonde only commented a very warm response. Yes. Ash agreed to be your girlfriend. With her cheeks very red, using her hands to cover her embarrassment. From now on, we'll always be together until the end. I promise. Before returning to hug the blonde warmly. They didn't realize that not far away they were being watched by a particular girl hiding in a small bush. So that blonde got ahead of me, wow. But I'm not giving up yet. Ash will be mine, no one is going to take him away from me, ha, with a somewhat macabre smile. Serena had gone crazy after receiving the powder that was sprinkled on her by Calm. Returning to the lovers. Well, Korrina, we should go back, it's a bit late. I have to go to the meeting with the professor and the rest. I plan to take Pikachu so he can hear everything too, with a somewhat excited tone of voice. Understood, dear, the blonde said. Ash just looked at her and took her hand to go back to the others. Meanwhile, in a somewhat pale prison not far from the city. Damn, they managed to discover me. I should have been smarter about hiding the device. Unfortunately, they took it from me. His voice was very angry as he looked around his small, cold cell. Suddenly a loud bang was heard in the prison after several explosions. Several inmates escaped from their cells, while a boy approached walking calmly alongside a water-type Pokémon through the small cells until he reached his target. I can't believe they captured you, didn't they, Allan? The boy commented with an annoyed and somewhat muffled voice. It's your fault, your device started making a noise from absorbing power and they discovered me. While staring at the boy. Okay, I made a mistake, although I just got the device back. While showing a bracelet very similar to a common one with a mega stone. Move aside, I'm going to fold this. The boy commented while Allan moved a few steps back. Blastoise, bend the steel bars of the cell. The Pokémon bent them very easily. Okay, let's get out of here and continue with the plan to finish off Ash, since he's the only one who possesses the bond phenomenon and in itself the only threat to our plans. Team Flare must succeed in its mission. Commented the boy, and then left with Allan. Who is the guy who rescued Allan? What's the plan to destroy the black guy? Ash and Korrina returned to the others at the blonde's house. It was already getting a bit late. Okay, we're here. We were at the entrance. I tried to keep going, but Korrina stopped me by the hand. Is something wrong? While I fixed my eyes on my girlfriend as she looked at me with doubt. Shall we tell them about our thing? Korrina commented, looking away somewhat nervously. I just decided to go up to him and plant a kiss on his forehead. Calm down. Do you think it's a good idea if we tell them about the relationship tomorrow? Waiting for Korrina's response. Sounds good to me. Her face showed me a tender and affirming smile. We entered, and after a short conversation with the others and before leaving, I decided to also take Greninja's Pokéball since he would also like to know the news about whether we won the league in the end. I set out with Pikachu to see the professor to discuss the issue that brought me back to Kalos. After about an hour I arrived with Pikachu and noticed some cars parked where the professor was. We entered and Pikachu climbed back onto my shoulder as usual. When I entered, I headed to the main room where everyone present was sitting at a rectangular table. At that moment the teacher looked at me and raised his hand, waving. Ash, nice to see you again, come sit down. As he returned to his seat. I greeted everyone, but I noticed that the regional champion wasn't there, which surprised me, since she should have been there. After some time, we first discussed preparing for the league winner, giving me the chance to fight for the regional champion title, something I'd definitely been thinking about doing since I arrived in this region. We then talked about the evidence and how Allan was caught for the fraud. Unfortunately, we don't know why he actually did it, commented one of the region's senior officials. It's very difficult to know. When we were working together he had no indication of being interested in the league. The professor said, holding his chin. At that moment, Ash remembered that he had invited him to participate, so he also thinks that he had something to do with the black-haired man's entry into the league. So he decides to speak up. I mean, before the league started, I was inviting him to participate, with the sole purpose of facing him because he's a great coach. Something that caught the attention of those present. He entered the league just for you? Is it a rivalry? Surely there was some reason to use the device to confront you, commented one of the high-ranking officials. At that moment the professor remembered something that only Ash could do and no one else had been able to access. The loop phenomenon. Everyone present looked at the professor as he continued his explanation. Ash is the only one who can access said state. Allan surely collected the energy in the battle against Ash. Although there must be a reason why Allan needed the energy, he is surely in a plot with someone, or it could even be worse, with an organization. Everyone was sure of what the teacher was referring to, except Ash. Well, now we know why XD. Team Flare. Everyone looked at the professor, thinking they should act quickly now that they know. Suddenly a message reached a high-ranking person, which was heard loudly, allowing everyone present to hear. We have a terrible problem. The city jail was destroyed. All the prisoners were located and arrested immediately except for one, who managed to escape immediately with a young man. The listeners were disturbed by the information. Allan was the one who escaped, and the device he was carrying in the league was stolen. We'll do our best to find out where he is. Over and out. No doubt everyone got up from their seats and started thinking about what decision to make regarding the problem that occurred. We need to be on the lookout for Team Flare's next move. Allan is definitely a problem, commented one of those present. We must act as quickly as possible. We must protect the region at all costs. After a few minutes a message arrived again, just like the previous one. Everyone present heard it. It is reported that members of Team Flare have appeared in the main cities of the region, causing damage and scaring people. We will try to stop them. We have already been informed of the location of the boy Allan along with the other one who had a water-type Pokemon. They are moving towards a mountain somewhat close to the capital. We cannot send someone to stop them. There are members of Team Flare attacking the city. We are doing our best to stop them. Over and out. So you've decided to start your attack on the region, the professor commented, upsetting everyone in the meeting. The champion is unfortunately in another region. We won't have any help from her. Now everything depends on us. Seeing the situation, we should split up and go defend the cities as soon as possible. I'll contact the gym leaders to help in your city. Professor, you must defend this city alongside the gym leader. The professor just nodded and watched Ash, seeing what he was planning to do. Ash thought he should follow the black-haired man and his accomplice, while Pikachu just looked at his trainer with concern. I'll go arrest Allan and the other guy. Everyone in the room looked at the dark-haired man. Count me in. Everyone nodded and accepted the dark-haired man's proposal. Everyone began to retreat to go protect the cities. Ash and the professor were left alone in the room. Ash, do you want help? I could come with you, since we still don't know exactly what they're planning to do on that mountain. Plus, we still don't know the location of the organization's leader. The professor tried to support the black man, who only denied the proposal. Don't worry, Professor, you must protect this city at all costs. I'll take care of Allan. By the way, Professor, if you can help me with anything before you leave, I'll take care of Allan. Yes, Ash, what do you need? The teacher commented. I need one more Pokemon that is in Kanto. Right now I only have Pikachu and Greninja, the others are at Clement's and there is no time to go get them. I'm sure I'm going to need it. Right away, Ash, I'll contact the professor right now so you can ask him for the Pokemon you need. Ash and Professor Sycamore contacted Professor Oak. After a short conversation, I discussed what was happening in the Kalos region. Ash acquired the Pokemon he needed for his team, thanking Professor Sycamore, ready to leave for Allan. Ash, before you go, I'll give you this, it might be useful. The professor had a box in his hand as well as some potions to heal the injured Pokemon. Thank you very much, Professor, and what's in that box? Ash, somewhat confused, looked at the small box. Well Ash, I wanted to give this to you since it will be very helpful. It is a Mega Stone. I saw that your Pokemon just arrived from Kanto has the characteristics to have a Mega Evolution. I know you will be able to control it. If you are able to use the lasso phenomenon you can undoubtedly handle the stone without difficulty, and you have great confidence in your Pokemon. Thank you very much, Professor. I will not fail in my mission. While the black man packed the potions in his backpack and the stone too, but he placed the bracelet on his right hand to be prepared. By the way, Professor, could you please give Korrina a message from me? She's here with my mother and Clement. If you find her, tell her this. It'll be a pleasure, Ash. I'll tell your girlfriend. The professor commented, as he also left the place. To head off to stop Allan and his accomplice, but not before taking a few minutes to give a talk to his Pokemon, bringing out the two he had besides Pikachu. Okay, friends, you'll help me save the Kalos region. He looked at his Pokemon, giving them a thumbs up. Nara Math. After settling some shop matters, I went out to find Ash to tell him the truth about what happened with the brown-haired girl since I think she is someone close to Ash. I should have told her when we met in Kanto. I went around asking people to see if they knew the location of the jet. After a few minutes searching. Miss, thank you very much for the information, he thanked her very happily for the help. You're welcome, I hope you find it there. After hearing the young lady's answer, I continued on my way even though it would take me some time to get there. The young lady told me that she saw the dark-haired man leave with a blonde-haired girl where the gym leader lived. Meanwhile at the blonde's house. Nara Korrina. It's been a while since Ash left for the meeting he was called to. I don't know why I'm worried and also nervous about the fact that others know I'm Ash's girlfriend. We were all having a quiet dinner, Clement's father was also with us, we were watching television and in a short while, a reporter gave a very alarming announcement. Attention, everyone in the region. Please stay home. Everyone outside should go to a meeting point and protect each other. The most dangerous organization in the region is attacking. Authorities, some trainers, and gym leaders will maintain and protect the cities. Remain calm. After hearing the message, we were very scared, so the first thing we thought was to prepare to defend the city at all costs. In my case, I decided to also take the Pokemon that Ash left behind, in case I ran into him. I hope my grandfather is okay. I know he's very strong and will be able to defend the city while I'm gone. The door rang a few minutes after we got ready. Clement went to open the door, he was a little unsure of who it could be, but he opened it, we were behind him to see who it was. Author narrates. At the door stood Professor Sycamore with a very worried and agitated face. Hello everyone. Clement, I need your help to stop the members. The teacher couldn't finish his sentence because Clement interrupted him. We know, we're ready to defend the city, Clement commented, grabbing his backpack. The others also looked at the professor, nodding. Delia, please stay here. It will be very dangerous to leave. Korrina spoke to Ash's mother, she just nodded. Okay, I'll still be with Mr. Mime to take care of me, you guys go, I hope you run into Ash. While Delia looked at Mr. Mime. Bonnie, you should stay too. They probably want Blandito. It's better if they don't know where he is. The little girl, somewhat annoyed because she wouldn't be able to help, accepted her brother's suggestion. Already outside the house. Professor, by the way, where is Ash? I thought he would come with you. Korrina looked at the professor very worried. The professor then explained where Ash was going and why he went alone and that it wasn't a good idea for them to follow him. Everyone found themselves more worried about the Raven, but more so Korrina. Korrina, Ash left me a message just for you, but I'll tell you later. Now we must defend this city at all costs while Ash takes care of his mission. Giving Korrina the confidence to continue with her part. It's true, we must do our part, / please Ash. Be very careful, I don't want anything to happen to you. After helping in the city I'll go with you. It doesn't matter if you don't want to, I'll go to you anyway, I'm your girlfriend after all, I'll never leave you / Korrina thought as she looked at the black sky with some stars that emitted a soft light, while the moon shone brightly. So everyone followed the teacher's order, so they took out their Pokemon. Go out X4. The four threw their Pokeballs emitting a light where they came out, Lucario, Luxray, Blaziken, and Garchomp. While everyone followed the professor at a fast pace, several explosions were heard around many parts of the city. As they all ran, they were attacked by surprise by a group of Team Flare members. Pyro or Flamethrower, being ordered by one of the members. The Flamethrower was going straight for Korrina and the others without reaction, but the attack was countered by another. Absol. Shadow Slash, a boy gave the order, causing both attacks to collide and eliminate each other. After seeing who the boy who helped them was, they defeated the group of recruits together, taking a small sigh. Thank you so much for your help, Math, Korrina commented happily. Just like the others, they were grateful for her help. Tell me what you were doing near here? The blonde asked, while the others were somewhat confused because Korrina knew the boy. I was looking for Ash, I wanted to talk about something very important with him, although I see he's not with you. By the way, I'm Math, an acquaintance of Ash and Korrina, nice to meet you. Greeting others in an appropriate manner. Okay, Math, then come with us and let's protect the region, Professor Sycamore mentioned, while Math just nodded determinedly. Thus, our protagonists, like others in the different cities, defended themselves against the Team Flare organization in very complicated battles. Meanwhile with Ash. The jet black man with Pikachu on his shoulder ran as he entered the forest which led him towards his goal. Pikachu, do you think Sceptile can support Mega Evolution? Pikachu just looked at the black-haired boy and showed a face of affirmation, which gave Ash confidence. You're right, Pikachu. Our bonds are very strong, just like all the other Pokemon. I trust them and they trust me. Also, I feel like Allan will confront me again, he commented seriously. He expressed to Pikachu while jumping over some logs that were lying on the road. Now it's our turn, along with Greninja, to break Allan's mother. And for the other type, I'll use you or Sceptile since the informant mentioned that he was with a water-type Pokemon, but I feel like there might be something more than them, something even worse than Allan's K-Izard, so I'll think about having you or Sceptile as a backup. Pikachu only responded to his owner's message with a single, Pika Pika. Then let's go. Ash and Pikachu continued on their way with great speed, to stop those two. Ash's plan was perfect, but you should never be complacent, there will always be something else that could interfere. It was already midnight in the region, Ash and Pikachu were very close to the end of the forest, heading towards the mountain in front of them. At the end of the forest. I found you. I looked up at the somewhat dark sky due to the lack of stars to see who was shouting at me. When I saw that he stopped in front of me and Pikachu, I could see who the subject was riding a Charizard. Allan, I shouted at the black-haired man. He just got off his Pokemon and looked at me coldly. I knew you'd come towards us, Ash, although I didn't expect you to come alone. You make it easier. His words definitely make me think I was ambushed or that was his plan all along. What are you planning, Allan? How did you know I was going to come? The black-haired man with a sinister smile decided to speak. I'll only answer the second one, Ash. I didn't like the idea, but I continued listening. We knew it, thanks to an informant known to you. He told us that you would be present at the meeting, although we weren't sure of the topic they talked about, but it was certain that high-ranking people from the region were involved. In that meeting they may have discussed your victory against me in the Pokemon League. Am I wrong? I immediately thought, who could be the person who helped these idiots? I just nodded and got into a fighting stance. Okay, let's finish this now. Then you'll tell me the whereabouts of your other friend, Mr. Dragon Crow. Allan also assumed a battle stance and gave his Charizard the order to duel. The Pokemon only took a step forward, offering a loud roar. Charizard, let's go all out. I noticed that his wrist began to shine, making it clear that his Pokemon would perform the Mega Evolution. He looked somewhat terrifying. I turned my gaze to Pikachu, who was beginning to create sparks on his cheeks, implying that he wanted to fight. He looked somewhat terrifying. I turned my gaze to Pikachu, who was beginning to create sparks on his cheeks, implying that he wanted to fight. Calm down, Pikachu, Greninja surely wants his revenge. I took a Pokeball out of my pocket and threw it. The water-type Pokemon appeared and immediately. I took a Pokeball out of my pocket and threw it. The water-type Pokemon appeared and immediately. Greninja stared at Charizard for a few seconds, immediately forming the bond phenomenon with the Raven. The fight begins. Greninja, use Cut. Charizard, Dragon Claw. The Pokemon heard the command and attacked immediately and directly. Their attacks were very evenly matched, attacking and blocking. So far no one received any damage. Charizard Thunder Punch now. With this I will definitely win. Charizard switched to a clearly effective attack on the water type, and Ash immediately thought about what to do. The frog was starting to lose ground, as Charizard's attacks were harder to dodge. Greninja jumps and uses Water Shuriken. The water-type Pokemon leapt high, then threw a sizable Water Shuriken. The attack hit Charizard squarely. The damage was considerable enough to make Charizard a little upset. Charizard continues, we must finish this, now use Fire Ring. The dragon stood firm and launched its most powerful attack. Greninja Ski. My chest hurts a lot. Ugh, I was in pain. I also felt Charizard's attack. The frog received great damage from the attack. He was kneeling and somewhat sore, just like his trainer. What happened, friend? Don't tell me you can't continue. Ha ha ha, I think I won again, and this time I did it without cheating. I heard Allan's words. I couldn't get up, I was a little dizzy, my body didn't react. After I finish you, we'll destroy this stupid region. I stare at Ash and smile. Then I'll go torture your dear and cute girlfriend, ha ha. While I tell her how I killed you, Charizard is ready to finish. I won't allow it. Allan was somewhat surprised when he heard the voice of the dark-haired man. He realized that Greninja stood up and then stared at the black-haired man, showing brighter red eyes than usual. I won't let you do that, you won't lay a hand on her, and this ends right here. The black-haired man stood up and also with an angry look gave the order to Greninja to attack, just like Allan. Greninja, Water Shuriken straight at him. Charizard uses Dragon Claw. Both Pokemon, along with their attacks, approached each other, but at the moment of colliding, Greninja dodged and hit Charizard directly in the chest, making him fall to the ground. Charizard Thunder Punch now. Allan ordered his Pokemon to attack again. Charizard got up with some difficulty. He had the advantage of being close to Greninja. Greninja backs up and uses double team now. The frog followed the order, precisely dodging Charizard's attack, then retreating and forming several copies of himself. The black-haired man immediately gave the order again. Flamethrower Charizard. Charizard's attack hit the clones, causing a cloud of dust. Allan was sure that attack was enough to defeat Greninja. Meanwhile, the black-haired one was speaking telepathically to his Pokémon. "It's over, Ash, you just lost." He was interrupted by Ash's voice on the other side. "Now Greninja." From the cloud of dust something quickly came out, a copy of Greninja and the same Greninja. One went straight towards Charizard and the other behind him disappeared at great speed. "Charizard, Dragon Claw to the Greninja that's coming towards you." Allan, very worried, not knowing what to do, gave the order to the Pokémon, managing to hit the water-type Pokémon, which immediately vanished, scaring the black-haired man even more. He realized that it was the copy. "Charizard above you." Allan realized that the first Greninja was a decoy. He could only give a desperate shout to warn his Pokémon of the danger. Greninja fell with great force, attacking Charizard with a water shuriken. The fire/dragon type Pokémon could not react and received the attack, causing it to be knocked out. "This is over, Allan." End of the fight. After the meeting between both trainers, Ash was somewhat exhausted and with the help of the frog they tied Allan to a log so he couldn't do anything. "Thanks Greninja, let me heal you and take a break in the Pokéball, you did very well." I put Greninja away and then stared at Allan. "Now you'll tell me what you're planning, or else I'll torture you like you planned to do to my girlfriend." Okay, I'll tell you," the tied-up black-haired man responded without reproach. "It was all a trap." "What? What do you mean?" It made me a little nervous. "The troops that were distributed throughout the region are only a decoy. We only wanted you to come here. I only had the sole mission of killing you. Since, thanks to my device, I collected energy from your lasso phenomenon, our plan is to activate the machine that will renew Kalos. We no longer need you." I was feeling very serious because Team Flare wanted me dead. I looked at the mountain in front of me, wondering what kind of machine it was that would renew the region. I looked back at Allan. "Thanks for the information. You were saved from what I was planning to do to you. Now you must stay here until they come for you." After a few minutes, I rested a little to regain my strength. I contacted the police and authorities so they could come to this place immediately and arrest Allan again. I also told them what Allan had told me. They responded that they would first protect the people in the cities and would try to send support people for me. "Okay, Allan, I'm going to save the region, bye." He looked at me angrily, as I turned around and continued on my way. The jet advanced his route on a small and narrow path to climb the mountain with Pikachu. Meanwhile in the city, Clement with the help of the professor and the others managed to stop several members of Team Flare. There were already some left. At that moment they received information from Ash, who had captured Allan, also the location where he is. He also explained that it was all a deception to gain time and achieve his goal without any interruption. He was linked to Team Flare. "Professor, thanks to the information Ash gave us, you should go help him. For now, both gym leaders and trainers are busy defending the other cities that are full of Team Flare members. We will send 2 officers to Allan's location." The informant commented to the group through a communicator. "Okay, we'll go right away." The call was cut off. Everyone listened to the information. The teacher just looked at them and decided to speak. "Okay, guys, you heard, it's a change of plans. We have to go help Ash right now, although some members of Team Flare continue attacking the city. I recommend that 2 of you stay here attacking those who are missing, and the rest of us will go help Ash." "I'll stay." "Me too." Clement's dad and Matt responded immediately. "Go son. Help Ash, he'll surely need you. I'll defend the city." "Go, I'm sure Ash needs you. I'll help the gentleman." "Understood, we'll go right away. Good luck to you too. Be careful father." Clement gave him a determined smile. "Okay, although I was thinking about Korrina staying here." The professor looked at the blonde seriously. "Why?" "I think it's a good time to tell you about Ash's message." Korrina just decided to stay silent, looking at the teacher with some doubt, although the others were going to hear it too. He said, "Ash doesn't want you to go to him. He doesn't want you to expose yourself to any danger. He doesn't want you to get involved in his mission. He doesn't want anything to happen to you. He loves you so much that he would blame himself if something happened to you. Why? Because he truly loves you. Korrina blushed instantly. Because Ash truly loves her, he doesn't want anything to happen to her, but he doesn't want to sit back and do nothing. He feels that she could be in danger to the point of losing him. I didn't know Ash was so sweet." Matt expressed as he looked at the blushing Korrina, just like the rest looked at her, waiting for her to make a decision. Of course I'll go, after all he's my boyfriend, I don't want anything to happen to him. Everyone except the teacher was somewhat surprised by the blonde's response. They didn't know Ash was her boyfriend, but they decided not to say anything. Okay, Korrina, then very good luck to both of you. Clement, Korrina, we'll go in my car. I know a route. The professor turned and walked away. Be very careful. The blonde commented, then followed the professor and Clement. Don't worry Ash, we're going there now, I won't leave you alone, I don't plan on losing you, Korrina thought as she followed the others' steps. After a short walk, the three arrived at the professor's house, got in the car, and immediately set off for Ash's location. Meanwhile on the mountain. Some time passed as the jet climbed, until he finally reached the top of the mountain. Upon arriving, the raven-haired boy observed a large crystal machine that lit up with a reddish hue. Next to that structure were several people, among them was the leader of Team Flare, and also a black-haired boy, who he didn't recognize well because of the distance. He was next to a water-type Pokémon, Blastoise. The black-haired man immediately hid near some rocks and looked at them closely, while he thought of a way to reach that machine and stop it. The problem was how to get through everyone present at the site, in the black-haired man's mind. Immediately the black man hid near some rocks and looked at them carefully, while he thought of a way to reach that machine and stop it. The problem was how to get through everyone present at the site. The black man's mind was flooded with questions. What can I do? If I come out and show my face, they'll all attack me for sure. The dark-haired man feels somewhat frustrated, without ideas. I should wait for reinforcements but let them act now, before this machine starts destroying everything. The good thing is that Greninja has already recovered and I have my team of 3, I could make a distraction or something like that. The Raven looked at his yellow Pokémon, trying to think of a plan. Come on, think as he looked around the place, focusing on a steep area with some large stones near the machine. That's it, the black-haired man took out Greninja again, which was already in good condition, and explained the plan to his Pokémon. Friend, I need you to be a decoy. I know it sounds a bit crazy but I need you to move near the stones and destroy them with water shuriken, then have most of those present follow you to the bottom of the mountain and you can finish them off one by one using the forest as support. The frog nodded confidently at his trainer's words. Don't worry, I'll also support you since I can see what you see, as well as feel what you feel. When the distraction is over, you must return to this place so you can help us finish off this machine as soon as possible. After the dark-haired man's explanation, he gave the order to begin the distraction. Greninja transformed into Greninja Ash and started the plan. He approached the huge stones behind everything stealthily and threw several water shurikens. The stones could not hold and began to collapse, making a loud noise and a huge disaster hitting some parts of the machine as they were going down quickly, alerting those present. Look, it's the boys Greninja. A member pointed at the water-type Pokémon standing in front of everyone, just passively watching. Attack now! The members of Team Flare gave orders to their Pokémon to launch attacks against the water-type Pokémon. Greninja evaded the attacks and jumped from its location and began to descend the mountain in a different direction from where the jet black came. He's escaping. I'm sure he's heading to the boy who sent him here. Don't let him escape, said the leader of Team Flare, sending all his subordinates to chase the Pokémon. I'll be supporting you, friend, thanks for the distraction, I'll take care of the rest. While thinking these words, he stayed calm because his plan worked perfectly. He waited a bit for Lissen's subordinates to leave, although only the Blastoise boy remained, someone with a robust appearance handling some computers near the machine, and finally the main boss. Okay, come on Pikachu, it's time to finish this. The Raven came out of his hiding place and walked straight in. He managed to notice that the other boy who was next to Lissen was none other than Calm. You're a bastard, you're behind everything with that evil guy, you were probably the snitch that Allan told me about, although there were also flaws in his words. I can't believe Serena wants someone so despicable. I still remember your name. This ends here. Lissen said nothing and stared at the dark-haired man, while on his right side Calm decided to speak. Well. If you remember me. I'm the boy Serena preferred over you. She never loved you. She enjoys being with me since she separated from you. While the black-haired boy laughed very evilly and his Blastoise was preparing to fight. You were always a loser, Ash. Ha ha ha, this region will fall and will be renewed. I must say it was clever of you to make everyone leave, Ash, but you won't be able to beat me. Calm looked at Lissen, making him understand and not get in the way of the fight that will begin. Okay, Calm, finish him off and kill him right away. I'll watch your fight. Remember, he doesn't have Greninja at the moment. It seems he only has a Pikachu. Just stop and separate from Calm and watch the fight that will happen at that moment. Ash felt a little sad about what happened with Serena and how she had another choice besides him, and he thought about how she kissed Calm while looking at him. I feel like you're right, I'm a loser. Ash, after thinking that about himself as a loser who has never won a regional league, here he hasn't even reached Alola yet, heard a noise near him. He looked at Pikachu, who was getting into a fighting position in front of Calm's Blastoise. He looked at himself with rage, his cheeks were shining from so much electricity. Asabache, observing the attitude of his Pokémon, realized that he was on a very important mission, to stop the machine before it destroys the entire region. He looked up at Calm with a serious tone, remembering why he is here, to stop this and to defend not only the region, but also his friends, his mother, and also someone special, a blonde-haired girl, who was with him during his sadness after the league, the girl who helped him recover, the girl who declared her love for him, the girl who is his girlfriend. The Jet narrates. I promised I'd take care of this. I'll protect the region, my friends, and my girlfriend, no matter what it takes. I replied to Calm, taking a few steps forward to be with Pikachu and end this here and now. I'm ready to finish you off. I yelled at him. He just laughed as he looked at me. You'll never beat me, that rat isn't going to help you, ha ha, do you think you'll beat me? I ignored him and looked at Pikachu. He just kept throwing sparks out of his cheeks. You want to fight him, right? It's okay, friend, we'll do it together. For now, Sceptile will stay as support in case of any problem. Narrator. Both young men looked at each other as well as their Pokémon. Both were in silence, only the flow of air could be heard that formed some sound. No one made the first move. Now Pikachu, quick attack. Let's go, Blastoise Hydreigon. After listening to the orders of their trainers, both Pokémon began the battle that will decide everything. The fight begins. Pikachu goes towards the Blastoise to give his first attack. The Water-type Pokémon fired a powerful Hydro Pump, which Pikachu dodged easily and hit the Water-type directly, doing considerable damage, then backed off to stay safe. Calm, a little annoyed by the attack of the Jet Black, decided to continue. Exclamation mark Blastoise uses Water Gun. Exclamation mark Pikachu dodge it. The Electric type began to dodge the shots nimbly, but made a mistake. It's your time, Blastoise, use Headbutt. The Water type managed to get close to Pikachu and headbutted him, causing great damage to the Electric type. Pikachu, can you continue? The Pokémon stood up and his cheeks began to glow with electric flashes. He was annoyed. Okay, then use Thunderbolt now. The Rodeo didn't think twice and charged a large amount of electricity and threw it at the Water type. Blastoise uses Shelter. The Water type hid under his shell to receive the attack. When the lightning hit, the Water type Pokémon began to feel the pain of the impact as it became more powerful. Now Pikachu, Electro Ball. Pikachu stopped his attack to accumulate electricity in his tail and create an electric sphere. This sphere grew to a large size, and the attack hit the Blastoise directly. After the order, Pikachu launched 3 attacks again. Calm was somewhat confused to hear the strength Pikachu had at that moment. This attack caused a lot of damage to the Water type due to the type advantage, which made Calm angry. Now I'm going to get serious. He showed a bracelet containing a Mega Evolution Stone, and his Pokémon took out a necklace from its shell. It's time, Blastoise, let's get serious this time. Mega Evolution. The Water type Pokémon began the transformation process, where it gave off a glow that covered it as it transformed. Ash was a little worried because he had a Mega Stone. Now the battle will be more complicated. Ash and Pikachu became serious when they saw the already Mega evolved Water type Pokémon. This is as far as you go, Ash. Say goodbye to everyone. Now you're going to realize you're completely useless. It's time to finish you off. Ash looked at Calm more seriously, starting to come up with a plan to beat him. Then he looked at Pikachu. Do you want me to get Sceptile to help you? Pikachu ignored his friend's order. He just looked at himself with a serious expression. I understand, Pikachu, then we will take care of them. The two were ready to start the second round of the fight.